Waikiki area at the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, and they wanted us to be there at 5:30. So I'm not sure why they scheduled me for 3:30, but my guess was that was just in case the container was packed away in the yard, I'd have time to dig it out. Luckily it wasn't. Spotted at 4:30, which was kind of neat. Waikiki is the most densely populated area on the island. It's where all the tourists go to vacation. But if you go there at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's like being inside a mall and nobody's there, because everything in Waikiki is manicured. You know, all the plants have good fertilizer and they're watered, and they're not in good shape. They bring them out and put in better plants, so everything is perfect. And then usually in the early mornings, that's when the custodians have scrubbed everything clean. So they're waiting for the 100,000 tourists to wake up. And so it's a real neat feeling, because it's so magical, sort of. Only people you see are maintenance people and security. Probably one of the safest spots in Hawaii, Waikiki. So we made that spot. I called them up at 5 o'clock, and they were glad I showed up early, because they were afraid that once all the deliveries started up, that they wouldn't be able to get the container where they wanted it. So they were real happy. After that, we bobtailed back to our terminal and picked up this container, which was full of Del Monte product, and we took that out to the Campbell Industrial area, to the large grocery store distribution warehouse. Dropped that off, and then ran over to a new paper warehouse that's being built. So what we did is we delivered a bunch of containers full of racking material, and so those containers were empty. I picked one of them up, took that back to the international shipping terminal, Pier 1, at which point we picked up a full 40-foot refrigerated container full of seafood product, took that over to the seafood distributor. And then we just bobtailed basically across the street to our terminal, and dispatch gave me 2 loads of insulation material going out to an industrial supplier in the Pearl City industrial area, Waihona Street. So we stood by, offloaded, and then took the empty back to our terminal, picked up the second load, took that up, stood by, offloaded, took the empty back to our terminal. And then we were going to pick up a 20-foot flat rack to take out to the Barbers Point Naval Air Station, Kitty Hawk area. But there weren't any 20-foot chassis available at the inter-island shipping terminal. So we just bobtailed back out to Campbell Industrial and picked up the container that had the Del Monte product in it, the grocery store distribution warehouse. PO, purchase order, then they just send it back. So it's like a small pallet of sweet corn, canned sweet corn. It wasn't on the POs. So we'll have to take this back to our terminal, put it on the dock, do some paperwork, OS&D paperwork, and I have a feeling that'll be the end of it. Just got a call from my wife. She says my glasses are ready over at Costco. And while I'm there, why don't I pick up some sourdough bread and coffee? My Costco here in town has sourdough bread. Her Costco out in Compton does not. I mean, out in Waikiki. And then they have this new coffee that we wanted to try, but it's in beans, and so you have to grind it. And my wife said she's not sure she knows how to do that, so she wanted me to do it. So that's the plan for after work, if I have the energy. We're coming up on a 12-hour day here. It's been fun, productive. I knew I was what I was in for, so I went to sleep kind of early last night, right at 9 o'clock. Got about 5 hours of sleep. So I think I'm pretty good. I do feel a little fuzzy though. Tomorrow we got the cruise ship. Trying to put together a crew for that tomorrow. Last Sunday there were 4 of us and it went real smooth, but all the containers had already been outgated and they were over here at our terminal just 2 miles away. I'm kind of hoping I can get more than 4 tomorrow, at least in the morning. Get them all the containers over there, you can kind of relax a little bit. At least you know that it's all out, but you never know what kind of obstacles you're going to run into. That's the big question that makes it a little bit stressful. So yeah, I forgot to turn the camera on. I just realized that. I guess that's happens sometimes when you're having fun. And this being the beginning of the month, I've always enjoyed sharing my story with the new subscribers. There's quite a few in fact. So maybe we'll do that, but first let me get the work done. We'll get this container on the dock. Get the OS&D freight offloaded, get the paperwork filled out. The yard doesn't look too bad. I think we're kind of caught up, but it's still very busy because we've got cruise ships for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how many we have, but one we're doing tomorrow I've never done before. I had to look it up, and it seems this ship used to run out of Tampa, Florida, and now it's migrating from Alaska to Hawaii and on its way to Australia. It's called the Brilliance of the Sea. We're shutting it down. Fan, thumbs up. we got? So this is the OS&D paperwork. This is the one that didn't have any chassis. So we came in at 3. We'll be out of here at 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only did 9 container loads, but we drove 168 miles. The day was really smooth. Everything went really, really smooth. Maybe it's just because I'm working a 12-hour day. I feel like it has to go smooth. I don't know. How's it going? So we're going to finish up that paperwork inside and then head on home by way of Costco. And there's too many leftovers to cook anything. We got to get rid of the leftovers. So we got rice and stir fries and barbecue beans. And there's 2 stir fries. That's right, I forgot. But yeah, nothing but leftovers for dinner. So in a nutshell, how did I get here? I was born in Washington State. I moved to the U.S. Virgin Islands when I was 5. I grew up in St. Thomas and St. John until I was 21. I moved to New York City, where I lived for 7 years. I hated the winter. Had a friend that had come to Hawaii, and I asked him if I could come out for the winter. And 83, 85, 87, I finally moved to Hawaii. Still don't have any family here, just my one friend that kind of encouraged me to come to Hawaii because he knew I didn't like New York. New York was a good education though. But I drove tour buses for 10 years. I've always been kind of a workaholic. I enjoy work. I enjoy people. I've never met a person I don't like. Even people who don't like me and I you know, couldn't really care for them. I still like them because I figure you got to have people like that to do jobs that nobody else wants to do, you know. Sometimes you need a bully to take care of bullies. So I enjoyed the tour bus driving. Was probably one of my favorite jobs I ever had. My most favorite job was teaching scuba diving at a water sports center when I was just out of high school. That was a great job. If it paid well, I'd probably still do it. Yeah. But after 10 years of driving tour buses, I drove garbage trucks for 7 years. So I think I know the island pretty well, because when I was a tour bus driver, I did all tours, I drove all equipment. And when I became a garbage man, I drove all equipment and I did every route, because I was a relief driver for anybody who wanted to go on vacation. So I moved into freight during the second it was right after 9/11. And got involved in freight with the idea of getting my tractor trailer license, which took 2.5 years. I'm self-taught. I didn't go to a school or anything. And been driving tractor trailers now for 19 years. I enjoy it. I could have retired 8 years ago. In fact, that was the plan 8 years ago. My wife talked me out of it. She says, you know, as long as you can work, you should keep working. Unless you have something you want to do, like if you want to go and homestead or something like that, where you're still working. It's just a different type. But I enjoy driving. I like being out, seeing the islands and knowing what's going on, you know, who's building what. And I'm not a real people person, so the YouTube is hard for me. I'm not a social media type, but that's why I do it. Sometimes you got to push yourself to do something that you really don't want to do, just because you need to stay relevant to society as far as everybody else. I mean, I can't stand having a cell phone. I got 2 cell phones, and they stay in my lunch pail, and I never put them in my pocket. They're always in the lunch pail. Wherever the lunch pail is, that's where the phone is. If I'm not near the lunch pail, you can't get a hold of me. And every now and then I remember to plug them in and charge them up. I like YouTube because it's a reference or a study. It allows me to go places I'll probably never go or never want to go, but still get the experience. And it allows me to learn things that would be much more difficult. I was talking to this just last night to a guy. He's 28 years old. He just moved back to Hawaii. He was born and raised here, but he moved to the mainland and lived there for a few years. Now he just moved back. So he's my age. When I came to Hawaii, I was 27. I had $700 and a girlfriend, and he's the oldest of 7. So he's got a huge family here. So I tell him, man, you definitely have the home team advantage, being in Hawaii. But it's rough. You gotta want it. And I think that's the one thing that I had that a lot of people don't have, is that I wanted it. I wanted to live in Hawaii, and I don't mind hard work. And so when people tell me what I do is hiring, or is it a good job, I could do anything, but I like work. And thanks to my wife, I know how to spend my money correctly. So we're doing all right. I would say if you make a little bit of money, boy, the first place you want to put it is in real estate if you live in Hawaii, because I make 3 times more money from real estate than I do from driving trucks. Just in appreciation. So yeah, it was fun going down to Waikiki this morning and walking around all the signs, boy. I could tell, like, that, the average hotel room in Waikiki during the summer months, like now, it's over $300. Come winter time, which we're, October is kind of moving into winter. By November, the average room in Waikiki is going to be $500 a night. And you get that feeling when you walk around, how everything is just manicured to the max. And $6 an hour for parking your car. $50 a day for parking your car. $300 fine if you put your bicycle in the bicycle rack at a hotel and you're not a guest. I was reading the signs going, man, there's a lot of rules in this town. Everywhere you look, there's security watching you. And if the security's not watching you, they're still watching you, because there's cameras everywhere. But I enjoy Waikiki just because I enjoy going on vacation, and you got 100,000 people on vacation. I'm sure they enjoy it too. And so you're around a lot of happy people. It's just a really good vibe whenever I go into Waikiki. And that's how we started the day today. But now we're going to finish up with my dreaded paperwork, which I hate. That's kind of why I'm putting it off. But that is it for today. Thanks for watching. We've got cruise ship tomorrow. Aloha.